Roberto Duran, Manos de Piedra, Hands of Stone, you know, probably the greatest lightweight that ever lived, and you know, most historians have him in, you know, top three of one of the, you know, the greatest fighters ever lived. You know, unbelievable reign, you know, for years and years at lightweight. Then moved up 2 weight divisions, you know, because I don't think there was like welterweight around that time. 2 weight divisions up to welterweight and beat Sugar Ray Leonard over 15 rounds. Unbelievable, you know, what this man has achieved in his career. You know, and lots of stories about, you know, how he beat Leonard, because, you know, Leonard was the Olympic champion, you know, the golden boy. And they fought in Quebec in Canada, and what Duran did was he got inside Sugar Ray's head. Bit naughty, to be honest. You know, he taunted and was, you know, really disrespectful about Sugar Ray's wife. You know, shouldn't have done that, but it's war. You know, end of the day, he needed to make you know, Leonard come and fight him. You know, come and have a big macho fight. Which he did. Leonard, you know, tried to stand toe-to-toe and have a war, and Duran beat him on point. And, you know, it was a massive feat. You know, it was a legend going back to Panama after beating the great Sugar Ray Leonard. And then they had the rematch. A lot of mind games going on there, because Sugar Ray Leonard knew Duran was out partying. You know, he put about 3 to 4 stone on, and Leonard, basically, they give Roberto 6 to 8 weeks to get in shape for the fight, for the rematch. So Duran, being Duran, you know, macho man, didn't turn it down, said, yeah, I'll fight. So he had to lose all that weight. And then what happened was the famous no mas, where Roberto turned his back. But, like I say, he had to lose all that weight. He was so weight drained, and Leonard was giving it all that and then jabbing him. You know, and all Roberto wanted was a fight, you know, a big tear up. So he turned his back, and he got a lot of stick for that, a hell of a lot of stick, and he was vilified in Panama. But, you know, he got on with it, and he went up another weight, and he beat the great Davy Moore. You know, it's unbelievable what Duran achieved. And then, you know, he also went up to middleweight, beating Iran Barkley. You know, well, he dropped Barkley as well. And then he went to 15-round points decision against Hagler. And I could be wrong, but I'm sure Roberto was up, you know, at the 12th round. You know, and it was the last 3 rounds that Marvin just clawed it back. You know, it's unbelievable what this guy did. You know, I know, keep going on, but you know, he's there with, you know, with my world title belt. Because if people don't know, you know, I was a world champion myself. And when we did this night together in Birmingham, he actually went up on stage and said, you know, I met another former world champion, become friends, you know, the famous, the crazy press-up man, you know, because I broke the Guinness World Record for press-ups. And it was just a fantastic night, and one of the greatest, you know, nights of my boxing career was with, you know, Roberto. And I've done nights with everybody else, and I've become, you know, really good friends with Marvin Hagler, you know, God rest his soul. And I'm going to be talking about, you know, all the 4 kings, you know. Well, this is about Roberto. You know, I'm not going to waffle on too long. He was just an unbelievable great fighter, you know, and one of the greatest fighters that ever lived. And he's just Roberto Duran. What more can I say? You know, he was Mike Tyson's hero as well. You know, he's just a fantastic fighter and an all-round brilliant person to meet. Okay, guys, so if you like this and you want to hear a little bit of talk about the others, the other 4 kings, press subscribe and follow my journey. Boom.